Hello everyone, my name is Anuj. I'm a final-year MBBS student at GMC Nagpur and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be conquering one of my weaker subjects in the grand test, that is orthopedics, and I'll take you through how I do it in just 24 hours. Around 12 or 13 hours, I'll be just studying and studying. So I really hope you enjoy. I know it's a long video, but I'm sure you would love it.
I just told you, ortho is one of the subjects that I'm not really good at. I'm currently standing at just 40th percentile, which is pathetic to say the least. And I need to get to like 90 percentile if possible, because it is one of the most scoring subjects out there. All the short subjects are very scoring. Why did this happen, Anuj, in the first place? The answer is simple. I studied ortho back in second year MBBS from edition 4. That was a long time ago. It's currently edition 6 and I'm in final year MBBS. So I have to revise it once again because I've already been to the postings. I've seen almost all the cases that are very significant for ortho. So without any further ado, let us start with ortho. I'll be using Marrow completely because I don't have time to open up Maheshwari and read the entire stuff, because I just want to quickly get my GT scores from 40 all the way to 90 plus, because that is my main target in life. Ki GT mein acha score hai, everything will be good. It is usually said that give your GT like it is your main test and give your main test as if it's a GT. So for the main test, that is my GT, I have to study ortho. This is the basic plan, and let us start with upper limb, shoulder and clavicle and move our way downstairs. Also, I do not have a specs. I just wear it so that I could look cool while doing this video. So yeah, ignore that. Hope that's clear. Let's go. I've also made some changes. Here was my computer. I have just removed that completely. And yeah, this is my complete desk setup. This is the ortho edition 6 modules, orthopedics, this one book, as well as gynecology. I was studying gynecology yesterday. And in here, I'll be doing the most important thing of all time, that is setting up a bigtimer.net. That will give me exactly 60 minutes to complete a certain topic. And according to my calculations, it will take me near about 10 hours to complete this subject, which is super awesome because this is a short subject which is meant to be done in a rapid fashion way.
I opened up the notes section in Marrow and I went through each of the subtopics. The main thing which I wanted to do over here was to integrate the notes of edition 6 into my edition 5 hard copy notes. Every single topper that I've talked to so far has always suggested that the notes are your most powerful weapons against anything in NEET PG. The better your notes are, the more marks you will score, and the more time you revise them, you will get more confident in each subject. I'm writing everything using a pencil, mostly because I haven't used a pencil anywhere else in this entire notebook. So I know that whatever is written in a pencil form would have to have come from edition 6, and which is more important. By the way, I started studying in the morning at around 10:30 after waking up at 8 and doing nothing till 10:30. One of the main points is that whenever you're trying to conquer a subject which is difficult, just try to understand it in the maximum detail you can. Sometimes it might happen that you are actually fooling yourself thinking that you understand a topic, but in reality you actually don't. At that point, questioning yourself really helps out a lot. And if you ask yourself questions like, okay, do you know how the pathophysiology works? Do you know how everything is connected? Such questions will really help you build your concepts and clear all your doubts. Hello everyone, I'm so sorry for pausing the video, but I have an important announcement to make right now. One of the core values of this channel is being pluripotent, being a stem cell that could differentiate into any type of cell it wants to, be it a neuron, be it a muscle, be it a cardiac myocyte, or be it a liver cell. Whatever the situation life throws at it, that stem cell will adapt, that stem cell will survive and thrive. And that is what we call as being pluripotent. And what I'm about to tell you has been in the works for almost 6 months. So I'm really happy to tell you that the hard work has paid off, and this is the official hoodie of the channel that you can buy right now on my website. It says pluripotent right over here, capable of greatness, which I 100% know all of you guys are. It is single-handedly the best way to support my channel and also receive something in return. It's available for free shipping all over India, and it's the softest hoodie I've ever worn. It's only going to be available for the next 7 days. After that, never again. So if you want to be pluripotent in the winter and study wearing the same hoodie that I'm wearing, go to the website anujpachhel.com/store or click the first link in the description to get yourself and your friends and family one of these. The last day to order is midnight of Saturday, that is the 3rd of December 2022. I'll be writing a personal letter to all the people who are going to be buying this and supporting the channel. Anyways, I'm so sorry for pausing the video, but I really put a lot of effort into it, and please kindly go check it out. Now back to the video, enjoy it.
And with that, I have completed the first part, that is upper limb trauma, clavicle and shoulder. So, एक chapter हुआ है. We have got like 20 more to go. I'm actually reading the notes of edition 6 over here and writing them down on my edition 5 notes so that I could have something to read when I'm in my internship. All the fractures and the dislocations of the shoulder joint as well as the clavicle are done. Now moving on to the next part, that is the arm and the elbow. So if you're a second student watching this, don't at all do any sort of short subject in your second year itself, because you're going to be forgetting them like I did, and I revised it pretty frequently and still I am not getting good scores. So that basically means that don't do short subjects in second year, focus on second year subjects in second year. Let's go. It took me around 30 minutes to complete it.
One thing which MBBS has definitely taught me more than anything is the art of self-studying. I had this very bad habit of being spoon-fed whatever I was studying up until class 12th. If I had a doubt, I had to go to the teacher to ask it. If I wanted to know some new concept, I had to find somebody to teach me that. But once I went into MBBS, I realized that almost everything that I've studied so far, I've learnt it on my own. Maybe there are like 20% of topics which I have actually been taught from teachers, but mostly I've learned from patients, and that too only when I went to the clinical postings. But 90% of the volume that you're going to be reading and understanding is going to be from textbooks. Sure, we have Marrow right now, that helps us a lot, but even though Marrow is there, textbooks are, filled with knowledge. So Marrow is going to teach you everything for NEET PG, but apart from to actually expand upon your knowledge much more, textbooks you have to be learning by yourself.
How convenient, I just completed the second portion of arm and elbow and my timer just ran out. So in 1 hour I did 2 chapters, shoulder, clavicle, elbow and arm. So yeah, these are the 4 things which I've learned today. So far the most important part of this entire chapter has been about supracondylar fracture of the humerus, as well as something called as pulled elbow, and a lot of different things along the way. One thing which I've noticed is that first of all I can recollect almost everything which I've learned in the lectures beforehand. And secondly, postings mein I had seen a case of supracondylar fracture of humerus, which is very very common. So that is one thing which is again being read over here. If you are good at anatomy, orthopedics becomes easy for you. So I actually got a gold medal in anatomy in first year MBBS. So this is not really that difficult for me with respect to understanding, because I understand most of the things they are writing over there, even without having to revise anatomy. So in first year MBBS study anatomy अच्छे से. It's 11:30 right now, and let's move on to the next chapter.
With respect to studying ortho, what I also noticed was that sometimes when you speak out the things out loud, you will gain clarity with respect to how they are pronounced, as well as you will remember them for a long period of time. So whenever I was studying, I noticed something which was complicated. I used to say that out loud 3 or 4 times, because immediately after this I started solving question banks, and I noticed that whatever things I had said out loud, I'd remember the associations of that particular thing to a disease much more than I did with things which I did not speak out loud.
So with just around 2 minutes to spare, I have completed the part of the upper limb that was this forearm part and the hand part. It involved a lot of important fractures like Monteggia, Galeaggi, Coley, Smiths, Bartons, and Schoffer's, Bennett fracture, Boxer's fracture, and we've got Jersey finger and mallet finger and all of that. It took me just about 1 hour to complete the entirety of idhar se idhar tak ka. It was pretty long to complete, but finally upper limb is completely done, right from the clavicle all the way up to the hand. I am pretty confident I can answer almost any question in this part. Now moving on to the lower limb, which is just 2 parts, that is part 1 and part 2.
After the upper limb was done, I was very happy and I took a break for my lunch. It got extended to 1.5 hours. I came back and this happened.
So 2 hours have passed since I last sat on this chair to study, and now I just got a notification on my WhatsApp that the timetable for the prelims exams of Final-year MBBS is out, and we've got papers all the way from 3rd to 12th without any breaks in between except for the Sundays. 7 long papers, medicine, surgery, obs-gynae and pediatrics, followed immediately by practical exams of 4 days without any break. So yes, that's practically it. We have been given a target. It's around 11 days left to go. It's a sudden surge of motivation because I absolutely need to get orthopedics done today. But first, let's call some of my friends.
हेलो.
तो क्या करना है फिर? गोवा. ठीक है, मेरे को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं गोवा जाने से.
Let's just say कि 16 दिसंबर को एग्जाम खत्म हो रही.
एग्जाम हुई नहीं, बट ट्रिप के प्लान बन रहे हैं.
ये ऑप्शन है, या फिर we can just cancel it, show it up और चुपचाप पढ़ाई करके अपने एग्जाम के बाद चलते हैं.
Needless to say, everybody is not really looking forward to the prelims. We are actually looking forward to the days after the prelims.
Boys and girls, it's 3 o'clock. That means it's ortho o'clock. And let's start once again. Lower limb and trauma, part 1. We are starting with the pelvis and femur and whatnot, and this is this is a 32-page chapter, which says a lot. Apparently, what I've noticed is that edition 6 has got much more detailed note compared to edition 5. But here we are, and I'm just adding the important points into this, and it's time once again to sharp this. Nice. I really don't know how I'm going to manage my time when the prelims actually comes, because I've got like 3 Sundays in between the prelims, so I'll have to figure something out, shoot videos in advance, so that they could be out when the prelims is here. Let's go.
The good news is that I actually shot 4 videos. They are ready to go for all the 4 Sundays in December. I'm feeling really happy because I'll finally get a break from YouTube to focus my 100% attention towards studies. So yes, that actually did happen. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so, because making all of this consistently takes a lot of time. Making one video once but doing it every week since 3 years is kind of a lot. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, it's officially a crime. Don't look it up, but it's officially a crime. The officials are gonna get into your home anytime now, so you better press that subscribe button. You know, sometimes you're studying and all of a sudden some things happen.
I was studying, but suddenly this entire structure decided to come off here. So I had hot glued it yesterday, but for some reason it did not work, probably because of the dust. So naturally we should try again.
And just like that, a new side mission was unlocked to fix this thing which was broken.
We stink. Some of you guys might be thinking that it is damaging the mica, but I'll just show you. If you put a drop of hot glue like this over here, in a few minutes it will dry out, and if it has got the compression force like we just compressed it, it won't damage the mica. Instead, we can just peel it right off after it has dried without it leaving a single residue. Spider-Man, how do you live? Let's get back to studying.
After completing my first side mission of this main story, I immediately went back and started reading the lower limb part. Lower limb fractures are so common in wards. You go inside an ortho ward, you will see like at least half of the patients have external fixators inside their lower limb. So it is very common. It was really nice to know all the things which are present.
Just to spare, I've completed the chapter of the lower limb trauma part 1 that was mostly based on the hip and the femur, proximal femur fractures, and it was practically only about dislocations of the hip as well as neck of femur and intertrochanteric fracture of femur. What I love about the notes is that even though they are long, they have got extensively imaged filled database which is actually helping me really get an orientation of how everything is placed, especially the operative things which have been added, and the last 2 pages of the notes are the most important ones, because they are actually like solved examples for you, like we used to do back in 11th and 12th. They have given the MCQs and we have to just see the MCQs and guess what the option is, and they have provided an answer within the notes itself. So you immediately, after understanding the concept, you just get to see the notes to see, okay, the MCQs, and this is how to actually apply the concept we have just tried. And I actually got a couple of them wrong over here, so I understood that okay, this is how we have to apply this concept. Now moving on to lower limb trauma part 2. Yeah, 5 minutes baki hai. I'm pretty fast. Wow, this looks kind of majestic, right? Hello, oxygen.
The next few subjects that I actually want to conquer upon my list of the weaker subjects in GT are the short subjects, so psychiatry, radiology, and anesthesia and dermatology. These are the 4 which are like the least scored in my GT. I'm not really proud of it because they are so scoring. You can score 100 percentile in them just by reading a little amount. So how do I plan on doing that? Because I'm a little short on time with the prelims, university exams, and so much coming up with the internship starting like 3 months. The basic idea is in Marrow there is something called as the revision videos, and the revision videos you can just watch an entire topic, entire subject in just a few videos. Psychiatry is like 3 videos long. I already watched the 3 of them. So essentially psychiatry you can revise in just under 4 or 5 hours if you are watching it in 1x. If you are watching in 2x, तो मुझसे भी ज़्यादा fast कर सकते हो.
Right, so this is for all the boys who are watching this video. You are in her home and it's going well, and all of a sudden her father knocks at the door. So, and her father obviously does not know that you are in her home. So what do? Option A, you be a man and face your father and explain the situation properly. Option B, you go ahead and hide in the closet. Option 3, you jump out the window. And option D, all of the above. I'll give you like 1 minute to think about it. You can pause the video if you want to. So the real answer to this question is actually, what were you doing at her place in the first place when her father was in the city? Well, people actually usually choose option C, that is to jump out of the window, and that is what gives you what we call as lover's fracture. So in lover's fracture, the calcaneum, which is your heel bone, it just gets absolutely destroyed because you jumped off a tall building, and that building was your girlfriend's house. So for all the boys who are watching this video, just don't do that. Yeah. And the best part is that it is simultaneously happens on both of your calcaneus, so both of the heel bones of your body, plus a vertebral compression fracture. So your vertebrae is shattered, your both calcaneus is shattered, and most likely other bones of your body will be shattered too, because her father will come downstairs and probably kill you. getting back to orthopedics. Evening has just set in and I've completed the part of lower limb. It is done. I've got around 17 minutes to spare, so I'm just going to go back and revise everything that we just studied today in a very quick, short and easy fashion. This helps me not to forget it immediately after reading it. एक और revision हो जाने से थोड़ा better retention रहता है.
So I did a quick revision, and after that I went to another topic, which was avascular necrosis, which was given separately from the lower limb part, and it is most important for questions because I have seen many questions on AVN. And very shortly, AVN was also done. You see this hot glue gun over here? Yeah, I forgot that I have plugged it on, and while the recording is going on, I have this smell that something is burning, but I just can't see what is burning. And फिर मुझे 15-20 minutes बाद realize हुआ कि hot glue gun on ही पड़ी है. Inattentional blindness is what we call it.
I'd say 45% of the orthopedics is done. The next session that we're going to be conducting in about 1 or 2 hours, because I need a break right now, will be focusing on spine, bone tumors, nerve injuries and regional conditions. So this will be the next 5-6 chapters that is going to be left, and the last session that we'll do today will be focusing on pediatric orthopedics and bone infections and joint diseases. So I think that most important part of orthopedics is already done, because nerve injuries are already done very well in anatomy, bone tumors are done very well in pathology, injuries are done in pediatrics, and bone infections I've already read. So like most of the heavy lifting over here is done. It's feeling pretty good. So totally excited to go forward with the next part of this plan. It's currently 5:41 and I think I need to take a break. I've been studying for near about 3 hours right now.
So I set my camera back to charging because it was discharged after such a long time of shooting, and I went outside to live my life like a champion.
Spend some time with the family, had some video calls. I need to get 2 things done. First of all is I need to get an Ethernet cable, and the reason is I am shifting my computer to the other room and it does not have internet access. So Ethernet cable is the first step. दीदी Ethernet cable, LAN cable, सबसे बड़ा वाला साइज जो होगा आपका वो. I accidentally walked all the way to Aditi's home and she's now bringing me medicine journals because that is something which we have to complete. So yes, been a long walk. Hello.
Hello.
What have you bought me?
Practical record.
Why have you bought me this?
Because you gotta write it.
Where Ethernet cable है? नहीं. I've wandered around and found a new cafe. So we're gonna try it out right now.
The cafe was pretty empty, so I ordered a cold coffee as well as some sandwiches. I enjoyed that, talked with the owner for like half an hour, and I felt really refreshed after this walk. Walking is like something which you can do anytime and you will just end up feeling happier in the end.
It is 8:10. I have had a sandwich and a coffee. I hope I don't sleep while studying orthopedics. And literally there is no brightness in this. Yeah, I really enjoyed the coffee and the sandwich as well. But the saddest part was that I did not find the Ethernet cable. मिला ही नहीं. अब Amazon से order करेंगे. I'll show you why I actually need it. If you remember, this computer was actually back in that room, but now it's in this room. And this is a very old PC. It's from 2018, so it does not have Wi-Fi. So I'll need to port the wire all the way through the rooftop through this little window over here, which will let me get the Ethernet port into this guy. So that's why I was searching for the LAN cable. This is the studio. If you haven't seen this, go check out this video over there. And now let's get back to studying orthopedics.
Just like that, my second side mission for this video, that is to acquire a LAN cable, had failed miserably. My dreams and my hopes and aspirations were shattered, but let it be. I was back again studying a lot.
So I've started with the nerve injuries part. I've just completed the first part of nerve injury. That was the basics, and now we move on to the particular nerve injuries of the different nerves. For example, axillary nerve, radial nerve, median nerve. Let's finish this part because we have studied a lot about this in anatomy and I'm pretty confident. I've got my brother Pawan with me.
Hello.
He is also studying orthopedics with me because he's in 10th. He should be doing better things, but you can study with me. Mechanism injury कैसा? shoulder dislocate हो गया, proximal humerus fracture हो गया, या तुमने सर्जरी करते करते काट डाला iatrogenic.
Bro, I'll be honest with you, Pawan probably knows more about certain subjects in MBBS than some of my batchmates too. Because the thing is, anytime that he's in the house, which he probably is for 90% of the times, and he sees me studying, he just sits beside me and just listens to whatever thing I have to say. I remember teaching him the entire bacteriology, virology, as well as parasites in microbiology back when he was just in class 8. Now that is some sort of new level of torture which that kid must have endured. Hats off to him for surviving that. He at one point actually knew all about the atypical mycobacteria and could talk about what are the different photochromogens, and rapid growers. He had them all by heart. So definitely revision is something which really makes you learn things even if they are not at all important to you. Yeah, he's in 10th, so if you could spam like Pawan is going to top 10th in the comment section, that would be nice.
34 and I've just completed nerve injuries by all of them. Like I told you, nerve injury was an easy topic, and now we move on to another topic which is super interesting, that is bone tumors. And these are the tumors which have always confused me. The age of presentation, epiphysis, metaphysis, diaphysis, kahan se aata hai, kaun aata hai, what are the cells, what is the histology and everything. So we're gonna find this out today in the next episode of Orthopedics with Anuj. I am starting to realize why we are very confused in this, because I'll just tell you the names of the tumors: enchondroma, chondroblastoma, osteoblastoma, osteoblastoma, osteoclastoma, chondrosarcoma, osteosarcoma. Yeah, I know, right? It's currently exactly 10 p.m. I'll just read the bone tumors part 2.
So clearly bone tumors is a very very important topic because in clinical scenarios you will definitely need to distinguish is it something like a bone cyst, is it osteosarcoma, is it giant cell tumor, and you only know that by doing enough questions and by knowing the age of presentation of tumors, what is their appearance on X-ray, as well as histological appearance, as well as which are originating from what part of the bone.
So when you write stuff down like this, it really helps a lot in retention, because I'm reading and then I'm writing it down back onto the whiteboard. So yeah, it's really good. I'll also have this remote so I can do this, which is pretty cool, I know.
Guys, do you think this scene looks familiar when I am just on my whiteboard in this exact orientation? Well, this exact position of putting the camera and using the whiteboard reminds me of something. It reminds me of my very first video here on this YouTube channel when I was actually teaching the anatomy of the spinal nerve in this exact position. The first video that I actually shot in this fashion got misaligned and half of the whiteboard was missing, and I did not even realize it because I was a noob back in 2019. I could have easily just left the lecture of 30 minutes which I had given and just stopped the idea of thinking about YouTube. But guess what? I reshot that video in a proper alignment and it turned out to be good, and I uploaded that, and just like that my YouTube channel started. Also, this method of first reading and then explaining the same thing to yourself in a much more organized fashion in a whiteboard will help you comprehend and also see the data much more clearly visibly.
I can very confidently say that I now know bone tumors completely. I can answer most of the questions, and that is because of this. I did this, I organized my thoughts, organized my notes into a written format over here, into mind maps, into the way I could visualize things, and most of the things of orthopedics are done. All that's left is pediatric orthopedics, spine, and some smaller topics like infection and regional and sports injury. So my next goal is to first of all complete the spine so that all the bones are covered, then go to regional injuries, and then go to pediatrics. Currently 11:24 and I've studied near about 7.5 hours from the morning. I started at 10:30, so I wasted quite a lot of time as well, but I did not regret any of it. So let's hope that before 2-3 we can complete ortho completely. Also, to the OG subscribers, if you remember, here I used to hang the silver play button back in 2022 before the studio was made. Yeah, this is the place where it was there. Just completed the spinal injuries, and now I'm moving on to the sports injury and the regional injury. This, I did not expect it to be taking me this long to complete, but if you really want to understand a concept and move on, it does take some time. So that's why it is taking some time. I've completely moved out of the desk and I'm sitting on my bed. And by the way, if you're wondering how I got all those moving shots, so I have this small device called as DJI Osmo Pocket. I bought it back in 2020 just so that I could take these time lapses, and it's really cute, it's really nice. So let me just set it up once again so you could all enjoy the time lapses of me studying ortho. Well, to be honest, I don't really have to study this much. I could just quit and start again tomorrow. But the thing is, like, there are times like this when you don't really feel like doing anything. At that point, you just have to suck it up and do it, because that's what discipline is. It's not relying on your impulsive decisions all the time. It's actually being much more conditioned to, this is what I have to do and this is what I will do, and not relying on the instincts. Okay, abhi meko nahi karna, main nahi karne wala hu. Not all of that. So yes, discipline is very, very important, and I learned this very much early on in like 11th and 12th when I was in NEET. Without a proper disciplined schedule, you cannot really go anywhere in life. If you will just be 100% impulsive all the times, you will just be wasting time like anything. Hi, it's 1:15. I've completed regional injuries. Tomorrow morning, before the time that I even started, so before 10:30, I have successfully completed ortho. So I quickly want to share with you my screen time for today, because most of the reading that I did from my iPad. Screen time is actually 8 hours and 11 minutes, out of which around 7 hours and 38 minutes is for marrow. After 12, 1 hour 2 minutes is for marrow. That puts us exactly at 8 hours and 40 minutes. So in the last 24 hours, I've studied for roughly 9 hours, if you could include the things when I was not looking into the app and was studying from my textbook. So 9 hours of study in one day is pretty good. It's pretty standard for a medical student here in India, especially whose exams are as close as mine. And tomorrow before 10:30, I anyways have to complete orthopedics, because that was the initial goal of today and tomorrow. I know it's a lot, but it's what we have to do, and that's what particularly makes MBBS one of the most challenging courses to take. So yes, if you're a NEET aspirant, all the best for that, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Just like Harry Potter said, we'll finish this like we started, so we'll study orthopedics. I hope you got that reference. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking right now. Good morning, Bapu. Good morning, I've had a very good friend named Pachhel. He's one of the subscribers which has been in contact with me since I had 600 subscribers. He has always helped me with things, and one thing which he taught me was meditation. So he meditates wherever he goes, and just seeing him, I was really inspired to try meditating, and ever since I've tried that, I've seen a lot of clarity, a lot of improvement in me with respect to my mental health. Not that mental was bad or anything, but my thoughts are really clear, more organized, and much less distracted at this point. So yes, try meditating if you haven't already yet. Just for 5 minutes, just sit down and try to calm your mind down and just try to focus on your breathing. Everyone, it's around 8:10. I've meditated for 10 minutes because that is something that I'm doing nowadays. It's something which really helps me focus my mind and do more things in a single day. It really works. Now let's do what we promised yesterday. Chalo. And just like that, the day was started, and I was really on the edge of completing everything. So I focused all my attention into doing the same thing which I did yesterday at this point. The thing that I started out in the morning was actually infections of the bone. So osteomyelitis, that was bacterial as well as tubercular, as well as other stuff related to the bone. Completed the infections part. Took me 56 minutes, and now moving on to what we call, oh wow, not much is left. I'm really happy seeing this. Finally, pediatrics shuru. It's just 3 lectures with small notes, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. After that, the topic that I started was Pediatric orthopedics, which comprised of 3 lectures. And in the morning, my speed is usually twice that of what it is in the night. So everything was just moving at a very fast pace. Just like that, while having my breakfast, I also finished Pediatric orthopedics. At the end of each unit, there is a lecture in which sir discusses MCQ. So I was really being alsy in the morning to not read the MCQ part, but actually to listen to the video that sir had. So I opened up that video and at least did the MCQs from the video part. Watching sir think actually gives you a lot more clarity on how you should
should think while approaching a problem. He sometimes first eliminates the options, sometimes he directly goes and jumps to the answer because he saw something. So that is some of the things which we actually do while we are solving GT. He also tells us what degree of question this is, first degree, second degree, third degree, and how to correlate what you have learned in previous classes with the things which he has.
So pediatric ortho is done. It was a bit of a difficult topic to grasp my head around, but in the end it is done and I feel good about it. Especially the MCQ discussions at the end of the video, at the end of the topic, actually helped me, apply my concepts very well. I'll have to revise pediatric ortho one or two more times before I could be confident in it, like I am confident in other topics like the upper limb, lower limb trauma, or something like bone tumors. So yes, the last point is the joint disorders, and very conveniently we are approaching 10:30. It's currently 10:16. So exactly 24 hours ago I started this subject. Feels pretty good that in 24 hours we have studied like 12 hours, 13 hours. We can complete the subject completely. So let's start with joint disorders part 1. That is osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. It is basically exactly medicine. We study all of this in this chapter called as rheumatology and medicine. I have studied the chapter very well from Bulur as well as from Harrison. So no issues with that. Let's do it.
One of the awesome tricks that I actually learned while studying this chapter from medicine was I actually looked at my own joints and tried to visualize agar mujhe rheumatoid arthritis hai, so what would my hand look like, why would my hand look like that, and what are the different deformities associated with rheumatoid arthritis, and something like ankylosing spondylitis or osteoarthritis or different seronegative spondyloarthropathies. Visualizing anatomical stuffs with relation to your own body will give you another layer of understanding.
Exactly. Chalo, that is done. With that, I have completed orthopedics. Very feeling happy. MCQs ho gaye. Guys, I have completed the subject of orthopedics. I am feeling really happy. Exactly 10:37 ho gaye hai. So yes, it took me 24 hours, but in the end, it was worth it. Now, I think it's time for us to take a small break and enjoy life because we've been studying for quite a lot of time.
As ortho was done, it was a short subject expected to be done in one day. I was really happy that I actually completed the subject. So I went outside to do the second side mission of this video, that was to find the Ethernet cable and do the connection. LAN cable required. I had to get this connected.
So this is my Wi-Fi router, and from here we are going to take the cable out, take it outside, and from the top of the roof we are going to be arriving over here in this room where we'll have our PC and we'll connect the Ethernet cable through this window. So yes, that is the main goal, and let's get started. We've got everything that we need, and एक side mission हो जाएगा इस video का complete. Done.
The side mission was also completed. The main mission was also complete. The computer in the next room started up very nicely with the internet speed being as good as the one which is present inside. So I've successfully created an internet connection between here and the other room. So yeah, that's been it for this side mission in this main video. So I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video. It was a long video, I really know, and if you did, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Making a 30-minute video took me more than 10-12 hours of editing, so please help me by hitting that subscribe button as well as liking the video. Anyways, I'll meet you next Sunday at 10 AM. So it's about Anuj. I'll catch you in the next one. Check out this video over here. You will love it. Chalo, milte hain. Goodbye.